Welcome back, everybody.
Okay,
Our
ready.
session today is about how entertainment ideas become a global franchise. Our guest is the director of the FX franchise and entertainment sector. Please join me in welcoming Miss Lucy Smith.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm absolutely delighted to be here. I am effectively the director of the entertainment division of RX France. And what does that mean? It covers being the managing director of MIPCOM Cannes, which takes place in October, of MIP Junior, of MIP Cancun in Mexico in November, and also MIP London, which takes place in a few weeks in, obviously in London. Timing's not necessarily great for the full market, but that's what I'm here to talk about today. So the title of my session, as you can see, is Breaking Borders, Turning Entertainment IPs into Global Franchises. And to talk about this, I am going to use a case study which is about what I know best and which I believe absolutely delivers on this, this question, is a case study about MIPCOM Cannes, which, for those that don't know, it is the world's largest global television and streaming content market. And it truly does open up amazing opportunities for everyone. Before I get into it, how many people who actually know MIPCOM or have been to MIPCOM? Excellent. Good. So I'm talking to an informed audience. So let's get going. So as I said, MIPCOM Cannes, we are the largest global television and streaming content market. It's the one essential annual gathering and meeting point that's been held in Cannes for the past 4 decades. It's where entertainment IPs and content come to travel. They start their rollout on the global stage, from big drama scripted premieres to the latest in unscripted formats, and now, of course, more and more digital-first creator economy IP. MIPCOM is also a global conference, which really defines the business for the year, the business of TV, when in a world that is being transformed, as we know. It's the place where each year people come, take the temperature, and learn about what is happening in the global industry. And I'm delighted to take you today a little bit inside the thinking behind creating the conditions to go global. It's really about helping people from around the world to find those new partnerships and new ways of collaborating. And at the heart of MIPCOM's world-famous Palais des Festivals, which you can see right here behind me, I'm sure many of you recognize it, you'll see some of the biggest entertainment brands in the world where they build their residencies, their suites, their home from home, forming a unique exhibition that absolutely does not exist anywhere else. It's where world premieres are staged and agenda-setting keynotes are delivered. So we're there every October, originally launched in October to accompany the US studios who, that was the moment they wanted to roll out their global series on the global stage. As a shorthand, I'd say that as the Cannes Film Festival is to the film industry and the Cannes Lions is to advertising, MIPCOM is truly the Cannes moment for the global content industry. It's where all global entertainment IPs are rolled out, and is the only time that the whole industry get together, and also get together around what is the red carpet capital of the world, outside of Hollywood. We'll always agree on that, but Cannes, it's absolutely exceptional, and everybody deserves their Cannes moment. Let's take a look. hope you enjoyed looking at that. That gives you a little taste of what it is all about, what we actually are delivering in Cannes. So to give an idea of the scale of the market behind some of those scenes, there are over 10,500 industry professionals, really coming from right further up the value chain, from creation all the way through to business and distribution. Bringing together studios, distributors, producers, platforms, creators, brand-led studios, and from more than 100 countries. And I think that has to be the most important part of the MIPCOM promise, is we absolutely deliver the global industry, bringing together all of the major players from the major territories in the world. And across 4 days, you see more than 350 exhibitors, which, as I'd mentioned, the big studios, but also startups and tech companies and AI. And we create a context for all of those companies with our Innovation Lab and Creative Hub and more. Everyone is coming to find new ways to do business and create partnerships on the global stage. And we also allow you to meet the people who fund the content. So we really bring together over 3,300 acquisitions executives who are from acquiring, commissioning, co-financing across broadcast, streaming, digital, and brand-led platforms, again from across the globe. A huge amount of financing conversations are taking place at MIPCOM in Cannes. Producers are looking for investors so they can put together their new projects. They're looking for where they can find incentives for coming from local or regional governments, also around where they should be filming. There are so many incentives, and we try and bring that all together. Co-production has a huge part to play in the promise of MIPCOM. It really is a mix of global and local and traditional and creator-led networks all in one place. And if you look from the Cannes skyline, you're able to really see a bit more about that layout and that mix. Along the Croisette, you can see some specially built structures with US studios like Paramount and NBCU and Disney and Warner Brothers Discovery and Sony, alongside international companies such as Studio Canal, global production and distribution studios like Banijay and Fremantle and ITV. It's really the biggest players in the world, as well as, of course, next generation distribution service companies. You can see Merzigo here. And YouTube. So let's talk a bit about YouTube and what that brought to the market this year and what the promise is going forward. So last year saw the biggest step change in a generation at MIPCOM, with a very deliberate strategy to bring the creator economy into the heart of the market. We had one key aim, which was to bridge the gap, opening new opportunities and deal making between the creator economy and brands with what's often referred to as traditional or legacy media. Why? Well, I think because we're all living it now. It's not something that is coming. It's something that absolutely is happening, and it's happening everywhere as audiences change their habits of viewing, and it's really shaping the whole of the future landscape. So as the biggest B2B global business market in the world, the pitch was come and meet everyone here in Cannes in one go at one time, and work out what are those new models, what are those new business models and collaborations. And what was clear is when the traditional and creator worlds do come together, there is a growing respect, and deals were being done. Stories that were coming out of the market were things like Banijay launched their global format creator lab, where they have creators now coming to reboot and reformat their IP. Fox Studios investing in a major vertical studio with Holy Water. And since then, Darman Studios, who are hugely important at the market, and Fox have announced a deal just a couple of weeks ago where now Darman Studios is creating 40 vertical productions for for Holy Water. And I think that that story of microdramas was very important in Cannes this year, and it continues to be. It will be in London in a few weeks, and again a lot bigger in MIPCOM next year. And obviously, meeting all of these platforms I just met last week. Reel Short's one of the biggest platforms in the world. They are very clear. We are looking for partners who want to create new verticals for us to distribute. So, you know, maybe we will put together a pitch for everyone to do that, because they need the platform on which to do that, and that is absolutely what we deliver. And kind of at the beginning of all of that strategy, it was finding a way to bring YouTube into the market. Now, YouTube were coming to be partners to the TV industry, but obviously they are the platform for the, you know, creator economy. So for us, it was hugely important. For them, it was their first major presence in their 20th year. They're only 20 years old, which is quite incredible when we look at their growth. So they were celebrating their birthdays throughout the market. And for them, it was a real landmark moment coming to be part of the TV industry. Their goal was partnerships with TV. They staged workshops around monetization, distribution, discovery, main stage keynotes. We see here, for example, the Pedro Pina, the head of EMEA, and I know he was here recently in the region talking about launching some new creator hub. And I mean, I think the work they're doing is absolutely incredible. And he was there with Jasmine Dawson, who heads up the BBC Studios Digital, with Evan Shapiro. For those who don't know him, he's an incredible visionary about the industry. You should look at his Substack, which is the Media War and Peace. And they're really talking about fandoms and channels. And again, you may have seen some recent news where they've gone even bigger now. BBC is now going to be producing content first for, obviously, iPlayer in the UK, but for YouTube. And they'll be monetizing that on YouTube. And that is a huge step. And, you know, obviously that leads a lot of discussion. Does that mean a lot of people are going to be going in that direction later? But as, you know, Pedro said in his keynote, we only succeed when our partners do. And that was their clear objective, setting the tone for partnerships with the TV industry. Whoops. And then moving on, as I said, our aim was really bridging the gap and finding new opportunities. Those opportunities are found not in isolation, but in collaboration, through finding new ways to work together. So we put the creators and the creator economy at the heart of the market, not just a strand. We were hearing from the next-gen storytellers like After Party Studios, who we see here, platforms who are all launching their creator movements with Tubi and Snapchat and Twitch and obviously YouTube and more. And studios, one incredibly inspiring one is Darman Studios, led by Sean Atkins, which again, follow him on LinkedIn. Everything he's talking about is so on the spot for how traditional legacy media needs to be looking at working with the creator economy. And they were all there looking at new ways to do deals. We see creators, brands, and commissioners as part of this beautiful sort of way they put it together, looking at how they can make new business together. So from brand studios as well who are present, like Mattel, with the exec producer of Barbie, Robbie Brenner, Ken Miller-Oko, who heads up toys for us, around marketing and content. Again, it's all about IP and taking it global. So I talked and mentioned brands a little bit. I wanted to talk about brand entertainment, because we did a first initiative in 25, and 26 we will be going a lot bigger in this area, because what brands now know is that attention that is earned through meaning lasts longer, it travels further, and delivers value that interruption rarely sustains. We've talked for a long time about the end of the 30-second ad. I think that we truly are at a point in the industry where brand entertainment is going to become more and more important, with brands taking their place as new studios and new commissioners. So for us, the timing was right. We're establishing a home for brand entertainment at MIPCOM. So we launched with a partnership with a conference that takes place alongside Sundance Festival called Brand Storytelling. where I was actually last week, and it's incredible to see the quality of the content being produced for brands, whether it be Sephora with the Faces of Music with Rowan Chappell, whether it be L'Oreal with a factual piece about Elon Spreck, the original woman who created the Because I'm Worth It for the L'Oreal brand. McDonald's, Gap just hired an incredibly senior exec from Paramount, Pam Kaufman, CMO, heading up the brand entertainment. Everybody is going to be taking it more seriously. So we had a very successful first edition with the agencies like Dentsu and Digitas and McCann being part of it. And I think for anyone who was in the room earlier, Doug Scott, who is an incredibly knowledgeable person in brand entertainment, he's going to be working with us, helping to build the program, ex-Ogilvy, ex-Endeavor, a real expert. So in total, there were 450 brand content execs who were there, interested and attending all of the conferences. And the pitch is always the same as with the creator economy. It's a unique meeting place for brands, brand studios, and agencies to meet and partner with the global television industry. And as I said in the beginning, Cannes is home for the advertising industry through the Lions, but MIPCOM is the home of content. And brand content, that is where the brands will come. So that is a big goal for us in 2026. And that, that approach is really built on our sort of track record of being a catalyst for content traveling globally. And traveling globally is also the world premieres. So you look at some incredible launches. So just this year, we saw the launch of Boston Blue, which from Paramount and CBS, it's a spin-off from the hugely popular Blue Bloods with Donnie Wahlberg, who you can see here. And it's already traveled to over 100 territories from having its launch. I know that's a major Hollywood studio. However, it is there that they will choose to come and do this kind of launch. We established these world premieres back in the time of the golden age of television, where we had premieres such as Mad Men and others. So that remains a really important part. As I said, the red carpet, the Cannes is that red carpet capital as well. And it's not just finished programming. We're also, MIPCOM has been central to the format business since its existence. It was central to the early 2000s formats era with the launches of, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Survivor, Got Talent, when they first rolled out globally to multiple territories. And every year, the next breakout hit formats are presented in Cannes first. The big buzz is always what's going to be the next, the new big format to take on the stage. We also had BBC Studios, the 1% Club, which was launched just a couple of years ago. That's already gone out on its journey around the world. We've also in MIPCOM consistently championed non-English language content on the main stage. I mean, here you just see a couple of examples here with Televisa and Turkey. We really think that MIPCOM has played a role helping to drive the culture-changing trend that has seen brilliant series from Asia. We all know of the fantastic Korean content, the K-pop and K-formats and more. The Nordics and Spain and Latin America, who found their first sort of global broadcast partners and audiences all around the world. And it's a movement we're really proud of, and it's very important to us, and we will continue to focus on that. I just want to talk a little bit about Turkey, because Turkey used MIPCOM over the past 10 years. Turkey was country of honor at MIPCOM in 2015, which really contributed to the boom in Turkish content. It's become the second largest global drama exporter with $600 million in annual revenue and aiming for $1 billion by 2030. It's got big support from the government, but it is content that has traveled hugely. It's present in 150 plus countries with major successes here, I know, across the region. In Asia and Latin America in particular. It's also amongst the top performing content on streaming platforms, and they have a very, very strong YouTube strategy to get their content out to the world. It's really bridging between East and West, And we have loved being able to showcase Turkish storytelling. And here I'm going to talk a little bit more just about what's the importance. We went through a lot of virtual markets, and we can do everything by Zoom. We don't have to see each other. I think you will agree that face-to-face meetings are the only way to do business. They're the best way to do business. And it's a core belief we have in curating MIPCOM. Collaboration doesn't just happen necessarily. So amongst all of the program, the keynotes, the conferences, buying and selling, we also put together workshops and roundtables. We bring communities together. It's a community business, and it's a people business. And we also create uncomparable social and networking opportunities. Can't resist to talk about Can by Night. This is just our sort of opening night party. These social moments, morning, noon, and night, and throughout the day, are absolutely key for people to be able to meet up. TV really is a people business, and the power of personal has never been so high. And serendipity is a superpower at a market like that takes place in Cannes, meaning somebody you just happen to be having coffee next door to could be your big partner and your big future maker of some huge deal. So that's also something we believe in, and it's where we think everybody can have their Cannes moment. So I'm going to wrap up to say that MIPCOM is a global market that does help to break borders and helps companies turn their global IP into global franchise. I hope this has helped answer that question to a certain extent. And our whole approach is to help shows and content find new audiences around the world. So I'm around if anyone wants to talk a bit more afterwards. I also have my colleagues in the audience with Basile Hadjar, who I think many of you know, who represents us throughout the Middle East, and Timothée Parent, who is our head of business development. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to come and talk to us. And I'm delighted to be here for the first time at the Saudi Media Forum. I'm very grateful for the invitation. So thank you. And if you have any questions now, we can have 5 minutes if anyone wants to ask any questions. But if not, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you very much for your attention.